Come, all of you good workers, good news to you I'll tell of how the good old Union is coming here to dwell. Which side are you on, boys? Which side are you on?
The film you're about to see is illustrating the story of a dispute between Data and Rolls Royce. Data has had many disputes with employers, but this one is one of very special significance. It involves new methods of attack by a large employer. Very briefly, the position arose this way. About 1,000 of our members who work for Rolls Royce in Coventry had presented a claim for more pay based upon local comparisons. But the company on this occasion chose to reply in terms not dealing with their domestic claim, but making an unsatisfactory offer. This, in their view, was to limit what they call the spread over of that agreement, which is a locally high wage area, to other parts. This was obviously most unsatisfactory, apart from being an offence to any procedure. But later the company then decided to try and force our members to accept its will by threatening to take action against other members of Data working in other parts of the Rolls Royce organisation if they refused to handle work which was normally done by our members in Coventry, then out on official strike. This clearly was an act of compulsory blacklegging, and our executive committee reacted in the only way possible and called upon the whole of our membership in Rolls Royce and elsewhere to resist this.
When we place wage claims before employers, we don't ask for exorbitant sums of money. The justice and arguments of our claims are based upon comparisons with which are all familiar. We're all wage slaves, and as such, we sell our labour power to the highest bidder. And I'm sure I've no need to remind you that the value of that labour power is always higher than the wages we receive. That surplus value is from where profits are derived. Never forget that Data members, along with other sections of workers, produce the profits for industry, which last year amounted to £8,200 million. So there is no truth whatsoever in the suggestion that draftsmen and technicians in Coventry are grossly overpaid. In fact, at Rolls Royce factory, they've managed to maintain parity with the national minimum of 1938. And of course, we didn't forget that the chairman of Rolls Royce, Sir Denning Pearson, gave himself a £9,000 per year increase this year, which was a 31% increase on his salary. We took account of the company's supposed financial difficulties. We told them that we weren't philanthropists, that we were selling our labour on the same market as other members in the town, and we expected some similar salary. Shop floor workers, during that same period, have managed to push up their earnings to the point where they earn as much, and in many instances more, than the likes of us.
This is right. I've got no grudge. I mean, if a shop floor worker earns £50 a week, good luck to him. But a technical man must be equivalent.
The question we ask is, how did he manage to do it? And when one analyses that position, you'll find that strong and organised trade unions, the 100% membership, some people call it the closed shop, and the militancy that went with it are the important factors.
2, 4, 6, 8, Rolls Royce won't negotiate!
In fact, I would suggest that any settlement would be a compromise. I personally won't be satisfied until we have the whole of the produce of our own labours.
This is the whole crux of it.
And the only reason we don't get that is because you're not being militant enough in the past.
4, 6, 8, Rolls Royce won't negotiate! 2, 4, 6, 8, Rolls Royce won't negotiate!
Solidarity is widespread. Typical is a letter we received from the Secretary of the Bristol District Committee of the AEF, Mr. Laurie Moore, which says, I'm instructed to advise all conveners that in the event of the laying off of Data, We would ask that every support be given to the draftsmen by refusing to work on jobs which will be placed in dispute following the layoff.
We also know that the company then intend to take this planning work all around the combine and are going to ask our planners, jig and tool men throughout the combine to handle the work. We know what they did in Derby. They attempted to take this work to Derby last week and the members in Derby refused to handle it. The Bristol members have said that they won't handle the work either. The instruction to the executive is that none of this work shall be handled in Rolls Royce. We also know that the shop stewards in Parkside have said to the company that on no account will they handle blackleg work that comes in from the rest of the combine. We know that Sterling Metals have said that they won't handle any work. We know that work has been returned from Cornercroft.
Our members in Rolls Royce are responsible for the design and development of the finest aero engines in the world, and yet their wages are appallingly low.
And also I would remind you that the policy of this union is one of opposition to productivity deals. The short-term advantage to shop floor workers of quite large sums of money in the way of increases. But as far as we're concerned, apart from that fact that the whole atmosphere is changing for negotiation of price increases, measured day work, of course, introduces job evaluation, flexibility, and all the rest of the gamut. Quite obviously, the intention is to increase prices, to increase profits at the expense of real wages. We believe that we're entitled to a bigger slice of the pie without necessarily having to sell the beads of sweat on our brow, our tea breaks, our bog breaks, and all the rest.
We mustn't lose sight of the fact that Rolls Royce is now a monopoly employer if you come into lightweight gas turbine work, which most of us know about. Therefore, we can't go anywhere else unless we emigrate.
The type of monopolised combine which is rapidly growing in this country. I'm sure that people in the British Leyland Group have, that people in Weinstock's empire, GCAI, have got the same difficulty. But what is more important, and the implication is obvious, is that they're part of the Engineering Employers Federation. The government policy was first determined by the recently defeated Labour government, where, if you remember, George Brown's utopian dream of planned economy became one of prices and income, became one of in place of strife, which led to a fight through the TUC in an effort to defeat legislation, which created an atmosphere whereby this present Tory government are able to dispense with their pre-election promises of price cuts, cuts in indirect taxation, and are able to make a direct attack on workers' wages. We know that Rolls Royce has taken the instructions of the Employers Federation. We also feel that they've had instruction from the government on this particular dispute.
The Tory party are out to bash the unions, have already set that clear.
The meeting that they had with the employers and with the government took place last April in the Employers Federation offices. So anybody who thinks that we are in a small little battle with a local employer should think again. In fact, what we have now is the focal point of the dispute of any group of workers in this country who wish to improve their earnings.
If this government has its way, let's be quite honest about it, we're finished. A lot of us, unless we stick together.
And we're confronted by one of the major monopoly combines in Britain, allied with the whole Engineering Employers Federation, and allied and supported by the government.
Once again, a powerful employer is attempting to destroy our ability to achieve decent wages for Britain's technical workers. The shipbuilding employers tried it in 1967 when they locked out all our members in the shipbuilding industry. We emerged from that confrontation better organised, more united, and with substantial increases, and we shall do so on this occasion.
This obviously means we have to have, amongst other things, not only the will of our membership and the resolution of our executive committee, we also have to have money. And we have decided to go to our members and to ask them to pay extra money in the form of a levy. We're quite confident they'll do this, and we're equally confident that we shall win.
The solidarity of the workers now throughout the combine is as high as it's ever been. The attitude of the pickets, the determination of the pickets is as high as it's ever been. This is the size of the dispute, and this is the recognition that the executive gives it. If we lose this dispute, we will lose our national claim in January. But there's no question, in fact, of us losing. When people say to us, how long can this union stick this dispute? The answer we can give them is that we can stick it 5 minutes longer than the company. I think that this has been the attitude in Coventry throughout the dispute. We are determined to win. The executive fully supports the dispute, and we are getting maximum solidarity throughout the combine. Thank you.
Which side are you on, boys? Which side are you on? Oh, workers, can you stand it? Tell me if you can. Or will you be a lousy scab, or will you be a man? Which side are you on, boys? Which side are you on? Don't scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us working folk haven't got a chance unless we organise. Which side are you on, boys? Which side are you on?